Hey, I'm Gary, co-founder of 420 Science, the most trusted online head shop.
And I'm Brandon. I help smoke all the weed.
And I'm Brett. Just happy to be here.
Welcome to the 420 Science Club, a show for cannabis enthusiasts by cannabis enthusiasts.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brandon, but you already saw that in the credits. This is
Nicolas Cage.
Obviously, that was in the credits as well. And it's the 420 Science Club. You're hanging out to, have a smoke session, chill out, and talk about pipes and weed and bongs and
maybe learn something.
maybe, if you're lucky.
If we have our facts straight.
GRAV recently they were kind of quiet for a little bit, and they were just like, ka-cha, 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 take all these new pipes all at once. And that was pretty neat to see that they're always working on stuff. They're always developing new designs and going for new looks and things. So the last thing that we had from them was like all the cup series, which was all these drinking vessels.
Oh, like the martini and the shaker. Yeah.
Right, and so they went through those, and these new things are, they are mostly cast glass. I definitely know that these two are, perhaps Empress is as well, I'm not certain, but it looks too big to be, but the shape is quite interesting to be blown. I'm really interested in the manufacturing process for this, but it looks badass. But these are the four most recent versions of GRAV pipes, and we're going to hit them and talk about them and celebrate them and criticize them. So here we go. Start off with the little one. I've seen them try to make an hourglass a few different ways. This is by far the smallest one.
Yeah, for sure. Small, and it's got a 10 mil bowl.
Okay, 10 millimeter. So
this is the same. It's like in the pocket bubbler series, right?
yeah, you gonna put that in your pocket?
Well, you can.
I think it's a front pocket pipe.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense than like a back pocket or a side pocket. Front pocket bubbler, as they call it, the phrase that most people, these are getting really popular. You see people walking around in LA, in Toronto, in different parts of France with their front pocket bubblers. This one definitely has the most splashback guard, I think. And even the way the mouthpiece hole is, it's going straight out. That was pretty smart rather than just cutting it off at the top. I'm gonna get this thing packed.
Yeah.
And then what's the wedge?
This is the
which
wedge.
is the other small bubbler.
I think you can see why it's called the wedge.
Right, an interesting shape for a pipe. You never really see.
It's pretty solid too. It's like got a solid base that it doesn't really taper, so it's kind of like sturdy. Or tapers up instead of tapering down.
I understand the influence, like the inspiration for it, but a lot of times they're trying to mimic like an actual object in the world, like
just a wedge,
like a doorstop.
Piece of cheese.
Oh, you're right. It's a glass piece of cheese.
Sometimes I roll up my joints with craft singles.
Oh yeah, you can get a little Makes you feel American.
It's American made.
It's a tradition. Load that wedge up and let's see what happens.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Two-hole perk.
Nice. What I do.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, what I do love about a bubbler is that you get that long, slow draw. Like you're hitting it as soon as you're hitting it. But as opposed to a hand pipe where it's kind of hot and you're sometimes building up like a hot hit.
Yeah.
This, you get that little bit of percolation that makes things, you can just hit it longer, frankly.
I thought you were going to say the bubbles. That's what you liked about the bubbler.
No, just to look at it.
I like this kind of built-in handle.
That is yeah, this is grippable. I can't really figure out how to...
Damn. That's some yellow smoke there.
Whoops. Those teacup bowls, though, they're kind of they're a little bit above those one-hitter bowls that GRAV makes.
Yeah.
But definitely below the volume that you get in a funnel bowl. And I think that's a good idea that they pack that they combine their bubblers with these smaller bowls, because you're really not going to be...
You don't need a huge...
Well, it's just not going to be as tasty anymore, and you're going to get your bubbler dirty really fast if you're always crushing really big bowls into it.
Yeah.
Well, chances are it'll be a little cleaner if you just smoke smaller bowls at once, then you can clean it out after every hit. That is the challenging things about these smaller bubblers, is keeping them clean. You know, you kind of want to use them and then pour it out, and then before you use it again, either take a, usually it's this downstem that becomes the real problem.
Q-tip.
Yeah, some hot, isopropyl alcohol and a Q-tip, clean that out. About every other session, you probably have to do a little maintenance where...
What's nice, though, about these is that they're so small that you can just, like, put them in a Ziploc bag.
just dunk it.
Yeah, just dunk it into some Tupperware or something.
Yeah, that is great about those, that you can dunk the whole thing and just let it soak, and then take it out, pour it out, and it'll probably be good as new.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. The wave. It reminds me of one of my grandmother's old perfume bottles.
I was gonna say it's like a set piece from the Golden Girls.
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm pretty sure this was on Blanche's dresser, and we just never knew what it was for.
It was full of whiskey.
Yeah, it was full of whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is like a whiskey decanter for your grandma.
Yeah, like a perfumey. That whiskey that you could dab behind each neck. Each of your necks. You could dab it between your left neck and your right neck. A lot of opportunity for bubble hit.
Yeah, a lot of stacking.
Lots of bubble. And man, it has is it open on the bottom? So that's interesting. So
Technically 4? Is it 4 holes?
No, it's just 2 holes, and they're totally side vented. So you get no down filtration, which is what would push this water line up the most. So it does a good job of not offsetting it very much. Yeah, I would hasten to say you could really go way up on this thing and still have some really good splashback protection. I'm kind of surprised because of how simple the shape is. It's all hollow, but because there's more water up here than down here, you kind of, it all comes back and stores down here, and that's where all the gravity goes.
Oh yeah.
Super surprised by that, but that's a cool design for sure.
Simple yet efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. It's elegant. That's what's so cool about it. And definitely these scallop sides or ribbed sides.
For your pleasure.
That's definitely like, they kind of have like a C. It definitely reminds me of the sea or a seashell or something like that. And
yeah,
that's kind of where they were wanting to go with it. And it's filled with water. It's the wave. Everything about the look makes sense, and it's just, you don't see pipes that look like this very often. It's such an interesting design. So this is the 14 millimeter, which this one was too though. The wedge has a 14 on it, so that was an interesting decision. So not a pocket. That's the distinction. All their pockets have a 10 millimeter ball.
You thought 10 millimeter was gone.
Mm-mm. It's back. It's always been here.
Honey, I Shrunk the Bong. Got a lot of smoke in there.
It's great. Wow. It's because you can put so much water in it, you actually get a good, and those 2 holes are tiny, so it's a good amount of water for that bubble to pass through to cool it down.
Well, yeah, because you put
a
a lot. Yeah, it's also deceiving because it doesn't look like it's a lot of water from here, but when you look at the front and how wide it actually is.
Right. Yeah. So, right. If that were a cone, it would probably be like a 4-inch round space. So dealing with shapes like this that we're not used to seeing, it makes it so surprising.
It hurts our brain.
What's funny to me is like, if they made a smaller version of this, I mean, the wedge is still,
it's kind of the baby version of it.
Yeah, it's kind of the baby version of the wedge. But you can't really get up this water line up on the wedge. This shape is just so useful for that. So surprised by it.
Yeah, this one needs a couple more cc's of thick.
Mm-hmm. And then the newest, they haven't made a new regular bong in quite some time. We've got a lot of redesigns in the past. We've got a new redesign of the Helix years ago, and then we got a redesign of just their tall tubes with the stamped ice prints in them, ice catches that were different, but those were sort of redesigns. This is one of the newest, like completely new things since like I would say like the up line or the arc line. This is a little arc liney, but not as heavy. And the percolator I think is the big win here. I'm just gonna guess.
The Empress perk?
Yeah, give this thing a tug and I want to understand what's going on here. That is a smooth sounding perk.
Yeah,
wow. There's like no chug on that.
Yeah, it's really high pitched.
That typically means the deeper the chug, you typically means that there's more pressure, like you have to pull it harder. When you hardly hear anything like that, that means that the air intake is just smooth.
Yeah.
No drag.
Fast. Yeah.
It looks like just a massive shower head. Just a huge.
But it's got this interesting, like, what is that on top? Is that a funnel? Or does it drip through?
I don't think it. I think it's closed, and so I'm absolutely not sure about that. I think, it's gonna, if you dab, then it's gonna collect around that, and then kind of help it drop down. I think it would help it not build up. I think that little poke is gonna help resin and build up happen there and less on the interior walls.
Huh.
What is great is that is sort of like an interior ash catcher almost, to where I imagine you're gonna get, this is an all mounted downstem that goes to this percolator that's mostly just a bottom perk, and then you have this little chamber, and like Brett was saying, it is shaped sort of odd, like never seen anything like that, but I imagine that you're gonna get a lot of buildup in that, but it's really gonna protect the outside of this from looking gross so fast. And then hopefully that little chamber is easy to clean just by itself with maybe like shaking, like a shaker cleaner.
Yeah.
This is kind of new, this mouthpiece. Like that's a lot denser than you typically see.
Yeah, that's beefy.
Yeah, it's such a thick mouthpiece. That is quite dense. That's like roar, like the thickest roar dense.
Yeah, that's the thickest stuff that we sell too.
So that's really impressive. That density, getting that quality, because I remember the old Helix bongs, the really old ones. Like one of the best things about them, they were just like
thick.
Yeah, like 10 pounds of glass, and that you do like this has some good weight to it. I think that they were just trying to make something that was really stable, really thick, but also looked nice. That 14 millimeter funnel bowl that this comes with is enormous.
It's a party bowl for sure.
That is bigger than a typical bowl. It has like a 19 millimeter funnel top to it, about 1.5 times the size of a regular funnel bowl, let's say, as far as capacity. Woo, Nelly.
It's so smooth.
Yeah, it was, even with just that much water in it. Wow.
I couldn't hear it. That was what was so smooth about it. It was just like,
yeah, was the hit kind of beefy?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, like am I bubbling? But
yeah,
you are.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what confused me. It's like so silent.
That is nuts. So we've added some more water to the Empress because we want to know how much can go in this bong before it's like overfilled. But just the water line, just like filling up the slots like to here is what we had it before, was a pretty good amount of filtration.
Yeah.
And it made no noise, which is just so impressive. Now there's a little bit more of a chug, but that's probably going to change once you get the bowl on.
See how she chugs.
I do think it's better not on it. I mean, it's still there on a tilt, but because it disperses it evenly, I think it's really, you want to hit this bong level.
From the top.
Yeah. So definitely more chug when you pull it, but it's a smooth hit. That perk really does a good job.
Yeah.
Yep. I support it. Wouldn't have thought. My favorite two for sure, the Wave and the Empress, the bigger ones. This is cute. I would probably change it into a dab rig.
Yeah, that'd be a good dab rig.
Yeah.
You can see it's already getting
Yeah.
Yellowed.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's best for combustion, but I think it would be a great little dab rig. The wedge could go either way, especially since it has a 14 millimeter. You could throw a 45-degree banger on that, and it would do great work. It's just that you have these little doing dabs when you have a really small mouthpiece like that. You get a little buildup on there, and you got to kind of keep it clean. But when you swab out your banger, you just swab out the mouthpiece real quick, and like if you just make that your habit, then it works pretty well.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that we kept the tag on ours for value, so that people know it's genuine.
Genuine GRAV.
Lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
Well, kudos to you, Grav. You made some cool pipes. You made some cool bubblers. Thumbs up. You're still our friend. So, thanks for hanging out with us. We hope you had an okay time session along with us getting out of our chairs a lot and forgetting what we should have started with during the sesh. But you know what? That's how it goes sometimes. I don't often get to enjoy. I'm always getting up whenever I sit down for a smoke session.
That's what happens when you have to try 4 bongs multiple times.
Haha, tricked us. Anyways, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. And if you want to support this channel in any way, just Google 420 Science. Bye.
Bye. Sorry, it was not much help there.
Oh, you're fine. We did it.
It's done.